Okay, guys, we are just mere hours away from the Mandalorian Season 2 season finale airing. And so there's definitely many thoughts, definitely many theories that I have. So here's what I'm going to do I'm going to give my final predictions. But when I give my final predictions, I'm going to make it clear that, see, what as fans, what a lot of people do is they cross the line between speculating and um hoping for something. The point is they cross the line between expectation or sorry, they cross the line between speculation and expectation. You know what I mean? Because you can theorize all you want, but when you get so invested into that theory, you're expecting it, and expectations are never good because when most of the time they don't turn out to be exactly what the filmmakers or showrunners or writers want to happen, and see it to fruition. So whatever, everything I'm saying, I have to keep in the back of my head is it's not it. I have to think everything is on the minority. I think, logically speaking, I do believe a Jedi will show up. I mean, they wouldn't see. They wouldn't say tell Mando and Baby Yoda to go to that Jedi temple only to never see a Jedi. You might as well have sent them to any other location. I do believe there had to have been some significance to Ahsoka sending them to a Jedi temple. While nothing really ended up really getting accomplished in that episode, they went to the Jedi temple. I do believe there will be a payoff by seeing a Jedi. I think Luke seems like a possible idea. I mean, he would be trying to set up a reorganization of bringing back the Jedi Order. But I really don't see how they could DH Mark Hamill, and they're really gonna recast him just for this role. I don't know. Maybe they can use DHing if it's just for one episode. I don't know. But to be honest, Luke makes sense story wise, but logistically from a filmmaking perspective, making Luke possible in a right manner just seems not logical. You know what I mean? People are saying Sebastian Stan because he looks like him. I don't think the looks matter as much as fitting the bill to do it. So I don't think they'd cast him specifically just because he looks a little similar. Whatever. It could be any of 1,000 names, but I really don't think it'll be Luke. Mace Windu was one I didn't really think was a possibility, but then when you think about it, it could work out interesting if it was Mace Windu, because Mace has a built-in relationship with Boba Fett, so you can tie in the Boba and Mace Windu hatred, because Boba Fett, hates Mace Windu because Mace Windu killed Jango Fett right in front of Boba, so there's already built-in conflict. So story-wise, it can make sense. It's not like throwing a random name out there. There is narrative purpose to maybe bringing Mace Windu back. I know he's dead, but in Star Wars universe, dead is not dead. I mean, Darth Maul, you saw get cut in half and was able to come back. So dead is not dead in this universe. I think with the Obi-Wan series, it's possible that Obi-Wan can come back as a Force Ghost. Yoda can come back as a Force Ghost. Force Ghost. I mean, he came back as a Force Ghost, not even a Force Ghost, as a Force Vision and Rebels, because at the time Yoda was still alive, but he's been proven to have that ability to connect with different Jedi, and you saw that in Rebels, and plus, I mean, he's the same species as Baby Yoda, so maybe that's why. And Yoda did get a name drop in the Ahsoka episode. That could matter nothing, that could matter everything, I don't know. Yoda's a possibility. A Yoda Force Ghost is a possibility. Qui-Gon Jinn Force Ghost, I mean, sort of could be a possibility, could not be. I think that's the least likely scenario. Another likely scenario is Cal from Jedi Fallen Order. I don't play the video game, so I don't care. But that is a possibility. I think, especially where, I've watched videos, heard what's happening, especially because at the end of the day, he's still out there. It's still after Order 66, looking for Jedi. That can be a possibility. It's doubtful because it's like, I don't see them wanting to bring in the most niche of Star Wars. There's movie fans. There's movie fans. In specific Star Wars fans. There's Star Wars fans. Then there's Star Wars TV show fans. Then Star Wars book fans. Star Wars comic book fans. And then all the way down here are Star Wars video game fans. And considering this is a lot of people's entryway into Star Wars, it seems very unlikely that they'll go to like the least popular, not like popular, like least mainstream. That's what I'm looking for. The video games are the least mainstream Star Wars out there. So to pull something from what is essentially the most least mainstream Star Wars content just seems weird. It was already crazy enough that they were bringing in these Rebels characters and Clone Wars characters enough, but you never know. Cal is out there, so Cal is a possibility. You can't look behind. Then I'd say Ezra. Ezra's the most likely. I mean, they've been bringing in these Rebels, Clone Wars characters. Dave Filoni loves his character so much that I definitely think I wouldn't put past them to bring Ezra back. I'm not quite sure. Dave Filoni's been very, mysterious. Filoni's been very mysterious as when the final scene of Rebels takes place. So for all we know, it could take after Mandalorian, or it could take before. I used to think it took place after the Return of the Jedi, but after, Dave Filoni's been like, it could take place after Return of the Jedi. It could take place after Mandalorian. We'll let you decide. I think the main reason why he said that was just to let us as fans speculate about who could that Jedi be. Could it be Ezra? You never know. But, I mean, Ahsoka's still looking for Thrawn, which would probably link Thrawn to Ezra. So it could be Ezra, could not be. I mean, that could be the plotline in Ahsoka. The Ahsoka show. Ahsoka could be looking for Ezra in that show because she's looking for Thrawn. Why would she look for Thrawn? Well, the only connection between Thrawn and someone she would actually care about is Ezra. Because I think Thrawn is someone who is just a blip on the radar. Why would she want to find Thrawn? Well, to get to Ezra. So maybe that's where they're heading. So I think Ezra is a possibility. I think the most likely possibility. Possibility number 2, nobody shows up. There's another possibility that no one shows up. No Jedi shows up. Because I could be saying, oh, yeah. I doubt that. I mean, especially with the whole subvert your expectations that all these Star Wars fans say about The Last Jedi that, I don't know. I mean, but I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. You can't overlook that no one shows up. I mean, that's all that, because they never said anyone was going to show up. It's our own fan speculation. So that is probably, honestly, one of the most likely scenarios is that no one shows up. Then another likely scenario is it could be a whole new character. A character we've never seen before. A new Jedi. I think that would be interesting to bring in someone, I get it. It's not the fan service you'd want. But just bring in someone new, fresh. Fresh eyes, fresh face, something different, something new. That can be exciting if done right. Then I think another theory is that Bo-Katan will show up. I think, Bo-Katan is such a cool character. I definitely think Bo-Katan. I don't know about Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is getting her own show. So maybe it would, because Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, and The Mandalorian are all taking place in the same timeline. It just seems weird to have Ahsoka, because wouldn't you want Ahsoka spawning off on her own journey? Because as episode 5 of The Mandalorian season 2 is basically a backdoor pilot, which a backdoor pilot is basically an episode of a different show that is just an episode to gateway into another show. A spin-off. It's a spin-off. Kind of a spin-off, but kind of like basically, I think in more logistical terms, it's kind of what it's kind of an episode a showrunner kind of throws in there to see the audience reception, to see if they're going to continue with their own show. You know what I mean? So, that was basically what episode 5 was of this season, a backdoor pilot for Ahsoka. So, I think, honestly, they'll just continue her story in Ahsoka, in her own show. So I'm thinking that, yeah, I don't know necessarily if she's going to be in the season. So I'd say probably not in this season finale. I do think Bo-Katan, of course. I think Cobb Vanth, who I loved in episode 1, I think there's a possibility he comes in. I would love if Cobb comes in. He in episode 1 he was great. The Marshal, he was great in that episode. So I think he could come back. I do believe Moff Gideon will either die or get arrested. I just feel like that because like how long can you stretch on the Moff Gideon story for? You know what? In the sense where I think there has to be a new threat emerging at some point in the show. You know what I mean? Because Moff Gideon's a great villain for a multi-season arc. But once they have this big conflict between Mando and Gideon, are you about to say Gideon escapes? Stay tuned for season 3 because they already had a big Moff Gideon cliffhanger at the end of season 1. Are you really going to do the same thing? Something has to conclude. You know, I think this season will be like season 2 of The Boys. What I loved about the season finale of season 2 of The Boys was it ended with wrapping up the story of season 1 and season 2 with, you know, with Vought and Becca and the Son. They wrapped up a lot of stuff in season 2 of The Boys, and then they teased us for season 3, but the tease was in a different direction than the first 2 seasons. They're setting up new villains, setting up new conflicts, new storylines. That's what I think it'll feel like tomorrow or tonight, whenever you watch it. I think that's what it'll feel like. It'll feel like this episode will end certain storylines running through the first 2 seasons, yet obviously leaving the door open for many different possibilities going forward. But yeah, those are just my final thoughts, or not final thoughts, final predictions. 90% of them are going to be dead wrong. Another prediction, I think we will see a fight, a duel. I don't know if it's going to be lightsaber on lightsaber. I predict that, a duel with the Darksaber. I'll predict that. I think it'll be Beskar, Mandalorian staff against the Darksaber. Maybe if that Jedi shows up, they'll get a duel with the Darksaber. My thing about having a Jedi against Moff Gideon is it's unfair. Because Moff Gideon's not a Jedi. He doesn't know how to wield that, a lightsaber. But if it was Mandalorian, it's a different case. Because Mandalorian is not a Force wielder. So it seems very evenly matched if it's Mando and Gideon. Because none of them have Force powers. None of them truly know how to really fight a sword to sword, probably. I'm just my guess. So I think that would be even fight. Maybe Moff Gideon against a Jedi. I don't know. And yes, I think another obvious prediction is that Mando will get Baby Yoda back. So that's another pretty easy prediction to make. Anyways, stay tuned for more videos coming right at you, and be sure to check out my Mandalorian Season 2 season finale review coming up whenever I watch the episode.